Respected moderators, my teachers and learned audience and my colleagues. Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Tanveer from United Hospital. So my topic of presentation is today rotablation and a contemporary approach and how it has changed over time. So if we move back to history, initially we used to dig the tunnels using hammers. It was a laborious job and sometimes unsuccessful. Then came the dynamites, which broke the rocks within seconds. Similarly, when dealing with calcified lesions prior to rotablation, using multiple balloons were sometimes laborious and even unsuccessful. So, in case of calcified lesion at that time, not allowed, not covered, no way, and the cardiac surgeon used to say CABG is the only choice. And we used to say yes. Then came the dynamite of intervention, the rotablation, which broke the rocks or the calcium very easily. The concept has changed from the initial mode where it was more of a debulking device. Now it's more of plaque modification. Before the advent of drug-eluting drug-eluting stents, the outcome were not that satisfactory due to restenosis. But after the evolution of drug-eluting balloons, the success rates are much more higher. But still there are some barriers, especially there is lack of standardized protocol, the training process is too long and lack of expertise. So it's not very much common everywhere yet. So briefly speaking, the parts of rotablation, it consists of a console, bar, wire, catheter and advancer and a dynamite or a foot pedal. So rotablator, which you can see there is a retracting position, advancer knob, the saline sets and the air compressor connectors, and there is a point in the proximal end for inserting the wire and bar. The rotabar, it's a diamond tip bar ranging from size 1.25 to 2.5. The console, it has got different parts. The most important is the speed meter or the speed display, which we generally prefer to keep around 135 to 180,000 revolutions per minute. And there is a air supply setup and a guide wire. There are two types of guide wire, the rota wire floppy and extra support wire. But we can use the PTCA wire and then exchange it using a microcatheter. And then there is a Dynaglide. So what are the common indications where we are going to use it? Calcified lesion, fibrotic lesion, non-crossable lesion and non-diatable lesions, especially with stents or balloons. Contraindication or special precautions if there is thrombus in venous grafts, if there is dissection or the occlusion is not possible by a guide wire. Precautions where we should be careful. If there is low ejection fraction, lesion is long, angulated, and we generally prefer to keep pacemaker in case of RCA or dominant SARC. So what does the guidelines say? The 2011 ACC and AHA guideline, they recommended 2A for rotablation. Expert consensus, they said in case of severe calcification or after failed expansion, rotablation can be done. So again, what is severe calcification? There is no specific definition for specific severe calcification, but fluoroscopically if we see calcium on bilateral walls, or if we have got IVUS and it shows 270 degree of circumferential, preferably superficial layer of calcium. Like in this case where we can see a superficial rim of calcium and it's almost 360 degrees. So rotablation, it actually ablates the lesion and makes it into microparticles which goes into the circulation, which are smaller than RBC and they are taken up by the reticuloendothelial system. The differential cutting is the concept like we use the shaving razor. It cuts the hard structures and it preserves the elastic or the smoother surfaces like the skin. Here in this case the arterial wall is preserved whereas the harder calcium is ablated. So we can see rotablation, it gets a very fine track for the stent deployation. And post rotablation, if we do the IVUS, there are some indicators which will indicate there is successful rotablation. One is the dissection flap, that there's the calcium is broken down, and then we can see the reverberation shadows. after the initial layer of the calcium, which indicates the calcium has been broken. So some tools and techniques which I will briefly say in this table. The contemporary approach has actually made it simpler, finer and easier. So we can use both radial and femoral access, and curved catheter is generally preferred. Catheters are those who have single curve, and in case of guide wire it's preferred to use a PTCA wire then exchange it using a micro catheter. Burr size, we generally start with lower size 1.25 to 1.5 having vessel ratio of 0.6, and we can stepwise increase it. And ablation speed is in the range of 135 to 180,000. Temporary pacemaker in case of RCA and dominant SARC definitely, but it can be avoided with smaller bar size and lower speed, and cocktail flush should be used. So this is a packing movement where we can see the final polishing and runs. And it's not free of complication. There are definitely some complication, like there is slow flow and no flow, there might be dissection, there might be bar entrapment, and there could be perforation. So this is a landmark trial which was presented in TCT 2018. It's an ongoing trial. The initial result which has been shared, which compared head-on comparison between scoring and cutting balloon in severe calcification and rotablation, where this showed that procedure in hospital complication were similar, but the success rate of rotablation was much higher. So the summary was elective rotablation is feasible, and both elective rotablation or balloon plus bailout rotablation can be done, and the access rate lumen loss in era of modern drug-eluting stent is no longer true in case of rotablation. So whether to use it as a first choice, definitely if it's severely calcified, rotablation should be taken as first choice, because if there is dissection or spiral dissection, rotablation cannot be performed further. So in severe calcification, why use so many balloons and effort when this clever lady can do this in much less effort? So my take home message: rotablation is an essential tool for calcified lesion, and it should be reserved for the complex cases. The PCI, which is complex in cutting balloons, might be straightforward using rotablation, and experience is a must before we use rotablation. Finally, I would like to acknowledge and thank my mentor from whom I have learned the rotablation, Dr. Kaisen Nasrullah sir. Thank you, sir.
রোটাবুলেশন তো বছর 10 আগে এটা তো অবসলিউট হয়ে গেছিল, এখন আবার রোটাবুলেশন কেন আসলো মনে হলো তোমার?
স্যার, ড্রাগ এলুটিং স্ট্যান্ট আসার আগে যখন বেয়ার মেটাল স্ট্যান্ট ছিল, তখন দেখা যাচ্ছে রোটাবুলেশন করার পর রেট লুমেন লস এটা বেশি হতো ইন কম্পারিজন টু কাটিং অর স্কোরিং বেলুন। বাট যখন ড্রাগ এলুটিং বেলুন গেছে, ড্রাগ এলুটিং স্ট্যান্টস অ্যাভেলেবেল হয়ে গেল মার্কেটে, অ্যান্ড রোটাবুলেশনের কিছু টেকনিক্যাল কনসেপ্ট একটু চেঞ্জ আসছে। ডিবাল্কিং থেকে প্লাগ মডিফায়ার, বার সাইজ ছোট করা হলো, রেজাল্টস দেখা যাচ্ছে রোটাবুলেশনে কমপ্লিকেশন এবং সাকসেস রেট দুটোটাই বেটার।
তোমার কি মনে হয় যেগুলো আমাদের কমপ্লিকেটেড কেস তুমি বললা, যেটা আমরা রোটাবুলেশন যেটা চুজ করি, কারণ এভরি চান্স অফ ডিসেকশন আছে, এখানে পারফোরেশনের সম্ভাবনা আছে, তা আমরা কমপ্লিকেটেড কেস বা সিটিও যেগুলো আছে বা হাইলি ক্যালসিফিক আছে, তো যেগুলো আমার লেফট মেইন বা এল রিলেশন, why don't you choose the bypass operation rather than rotablation?
Sir, first the patient selection will be definitely on the type of lesion. We do the syntax score. If bypass is the first choice, definitely we will go for bypass. If bypass is not the first choice, then only we consider for PCI. Or if bypass is not possible in patients who are having high surgical risk, only in those cases we consider PCI. And when we consider PCI in lesions which have heavy calcification, in those cases rota is going to help, sir.
Thank you. Next
Thank you, sir.
Excellent presentation.